usually have the best shots. So what we do is we're like, okay, we need to figure out, one, how to get there fast, and two, how to keep the other team out of there fast. So we'll break the field in half. We'll work on this side first. We're going to figure out how to get into their side of the snake. We kind of figured it out, right? We figured out, hey, if somebody's in that center Dorito, we need somebody to protect for us, otherwise he's going to shoot us. What does that tell you? That center Dorito is probably the best bunker on the field to keep them out of it, right? Did we all learn that from that drill? So that would dissect this part of the field. Okay, it's probably not safe running up there off the break because we did the breakout drills, and you realize that people running and shooting out to the corner are shooting this guy, so why wouldn't they be able to shoot this guy running up as a big target, right? So maybe we would put in our game plan, okay, it's smart to come here and shoot and then release. And then he just sits up and locks that zone down, okay? Same thing on the Dorito side. Then we would go and we would do the 3-on-3 on this side, right? We figure out what the best spot to keep them out of there is and how to get in there, okay? And that's what we do on every field. You figure out the best spots, you figure out how to get in there by drills like this, and you figure out how to keep them out. Then when you're putting game plans together, breakouts are really important. This is where laning comes into play, running and shooting, okay? You want to be able to shoot people off the break. Like say I'm playing against Infamous with Mouse on the team. I know he's going to be in our snake pretty quick. I'm going to practice making sure that I shoot him before he gets to this little cake, right? You know, there's other players where it's like, okay, I know they're going to be on the Dorito side real fast. I'm going to make sure that I know where he's going to go. So you want to make sure that you have the field dialed in, okay? Those drills over and over, I told you guys, repetition, right? This is the actual layout. Our team would personally send somebody running out. We would say, okay, choose where you want to go. You could either go to the little cake, the corner, or the snake. Go wherever you want, right? Because in a real game, you don't actually know where they're going. You can only make your best prediction. And then this back guy, over and over, comes in doing these drills until he gets that shot so dialed in that he's confident he's going to shoot that guy 80–90% of the time. Same thing on the Dorito side. It's the same thing, okay? And then after you dissect each side of the field, now you do it with full field breakouts because it changes a little bit. And you also have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of times where, you know, like this, for example, if we're playing snake side only, this guy's in here playing like this, right? Because there's nobody over there. But if there's an actual game going on, the Dorito 1 could easily shoot him. So that's something that you guys have to take upon yourselves when you're doing the drills, to be on your teammates and be like, hey, you got to play it like the other side's hot too. You know, even though that side of the field's not in play right now, get tight in your bunker, work on those little things.
Is there ever a situation, say like if you got, you know, there's a really fast player, probably won't be able to lane them. Is there ever a situation?
No such thing as probably won't be able to lane them.
Well, I'm just saying, like say, is there a situation where you can let the fast guy go and then get him on an island, like take out the space behind him?
That's a great question. So a lot of times, we actually, even if it's not that we can't shoot him, a lot of times we're like, that's a tougher shot. It's more important if we kill his support guy. Because exactly, now he's stuck on an island and what can you really do? You know, so shooting at that inside guy, like I was saying, when you're doing drills, overachieve in drills. Overachieve in practice. Go for everything. In drills, try to shoot 3 gaps. You know, even it's going to make it way harder to dial in one shot, but now you might shoot 2 or 3 people. I look at it like this. Until you can literally pick up your gun off the break and take 5 paintballs and go bam, 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 and shoot 4 people with 4 paintballs, then you're not done doing drills and you're not done getting better. That's how I look at it, right? So in practice, I constantly like shoot 3 different gaps because you have that many chances to shoot them, right? And then in a tournament, sure, you can dial it in to make sure you at least get your 1 kill, okay? So that's the kind of stuff you want to practice. But that was a great question. Yes, sometimes it's more important to kill the inside guy. You know, it's a wide open gap. That's essentially how we break down a field. It's pretty basic, you know? And then after we do that, we're like, okay, now we can play games. We can put together game plans and figure out what to do from there, you know? So it's about your attackers knowing their job. Those are your ones. It's about them knowing their job. What's the one's job? We talked about this over there.
Put them in, go.
Nice. elaborate a little bit. Attack, attack. If you're the attacker, go attack, okay? You get into the spots. You make sure that everyone's good, everything's right. Look down the tape, check things off, and you go. You get into good spots, okay? That's your job. You get into the good spot. Now, once you get into the really good spot, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to come up now. Now this comes into the supporter's jobs. What's the supporter's job?
Protect your snake. Protect your one.
Protect him. That's a little more so the 3.
Give him info.
Give him info and help him. Your job as a 2 is not to get kills. It's funny how it works out though, because I played the 2 a lot last year. And your job is not to get kills. Your job is to help your front player get kills. But by doing that, you end up getting kills. You know, like it just works out that way. Your job as a 2, as a support player, is to do everything you can to help your front player shoot people. Okay, so that means you gotta understand what it takes to be a front player. You gotta understand what he needs. Your front player might need the tape put in so he could go down. That means you have to get yourself in position down the wire so you could be like, hey, Tyler, go down the snake, I got you, right? Right, Aubrey? Just like we were talking about over there. I got you. Go all the way down, and then he can come up and he can get cross shots, okay? The back guy, the 3, it's his job to kind of relay information cross field from both sides, get everybody on the same page, connect everybody, okay? Make sure everybody knows what's going on, protect people, and do that kind of job. It's really simple. It's really simple. It's about doing jobs. The front Dorito guy, same thing. Don't go to that first Dorito and look cross field trying to stop somebody from getting in the snake. Don't ever do that. Seriously. Okay? You're wasting your time. You're either going to bounce them, miss, or maybe shoot them, and it's not even a game changer. You know what is a game changer? Getting into that 50 Dorito in the first 30 seconds of the game. Even if you don't shoot anybody, you get in there. Now everybody, their whole team is now like this, playing like this. You chill, you wait for your supporters to get close to you, and then you start talking, working together, and that's when you start winning games. The worst thing you could do is let your teammate get into a really good spot on the field, and the rest of the team just stays in the back. Why is that bad?
Because he has no support.
He has no support, he's all alone, and if he gets shot, you lose all of that real estate that you worked so hard to get. You got to look at it like a piece of a pie, right? When you get into that part of the field, 50 snake, you know, and you're like over here, you have majority of the field. So now you got to think their guns are now spread that way. They're not so much in the backfield. That frees your back players up. That's another thing the front players need to understand. Your job is also to help your back players and your 2s make moves, okay? You're helping them as well. You're applying pressure to free them up so that they could get in better position to protect you. And then you guys are one solid unit, you move together, which you guys started doing in the 3-on-3 drills. You guys started moving together, and that's when I was excited and starting to see better teamwork, okay? Any questions? Gotta be some.
With the whole shooting down your tape, you said the main goal is pretty much to protect your snake with the tape, and then D-side's looking tape too. Who's protecting the middle?
The very, very front guy, right? So his job in the very beginning, he gets in there, he looks down the tape, he goes, then he comes up and he looks in the middle,
He's looking,
right? Off the break, so if there's a center attack that's going to be a threat, like someone like A-Rod or Oliver coming up the center, right? That's usually going to be off the break. That's why I was telling Paul, I was telling you, when you're running out to the corner, if you're going to the corners or these secondary positions, it's very important to be running looking back upfield. Because if you're running with your head down and you slide in, you don't see anything. But if you're running looking upfield, you can see that somebody's coming up the center. The only time the center guy is real effective is when you don't really know he's there, and then you make moves and he picks your team apart. That is an easy fix. If you're running out, you always look downfield. That way you can start screaming. We call the center 50 Rocket. You know, on the Ironman we called it Monster. Calling it the A is probably not a good call because he's in the A. It just doesn't stand out. So make a code for it because it's an important bunker. And if somebody's running up there, your wide guys need to see that. That's their job. So to answer your question, it's the wide guys on the break running out that see that then they yell, monster, monster, you know, and you have to have a sense of urgency and relay that to your entire team.
then you would have your snake guy and the D side looking.
Yeah, because then your snake eye is not just going to go past that gap, right? Then you guys figure it out. You either put him in or shoot him out of that spot, and then you make your move. You know? It's not always aggressive, you know? You got to take what people can give you. You got to be smart about it. I just say in practice, like these types of drills, be overly aggressive because you could always pull back. But it's really hard to go to a tournament when you've been practicing really lackadaisical and you've been playing in the back to have another year. But it's very easy to go to a tournament and you've been practicing and you've made all these crazy moves and gotten blown up in practice, but some worked, some didn't. It's really easy to then pull back. It's a lot easier to do that, right? So if you're practicing with your team and you're trying to make moves, we always say this to each other. We're like, hey, if you get shot trying to make a move in practice, nobody's going to get mad at you. Okay? As long as it's a decently planned out move, you know, it's not just selfish and silly, right? Try things. Don't be afraid to get shot. That's how you learn. That's how you learn, is by making moves. Just go for it. That way you know what you can get away with on the field. You know what I mean? You want to start up high and just jump into it, right? You want to be running, get low, and then you extend, and it's like that.
Okay.
Always gun up and more on like the side of your body, right?
You want to hit your underside.
Exactly, and it's very important, especially you got a shoulder injury, to not dive with your gun in your shoulder. You want it to be down there, wrist up, okay? Get low and extend your arm, and you dive on your elbow and you push through it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay? Instead of just, you know, people like, they run and they jump and dive. It doesn't need to be like that. Just super smooth, you know? Just super smooth.
Okay. Yeah, because when I go, usually what happens is, what I think is I'm not extending enough then because I end up in a scorpion.
That's exactly what's happening.
You also don't want to belly flop. Just like in baseball, if you're diving, you're getting as low at first before you make that jump.
Exactly. You want to get real low to the ground and you almost let your momentum take you as you're diving. Put your hand down and keep your wrist up and fully extend your arm and follow through.
Alright, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Instead of, you know, just jumping and diving, and that's when it's like, and things happen, barrel sticks into the ground. It's not good. Hey, we all have. I completely knocked myself out in a tournament once. Barrel stuck into the ground, can't hit my chin, my grip frame completely bent like this. My chin is completely split open, I was bleeding everywhere.
I bent a barrel, but you win.
It's not.
I was gonna say Chris Jensen's barrel break.
What?
Christopher Boom at West Coast.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Broke
Yep.
his sternum.
Yep.
Do you have
Like,
if this is a corner bunker? Is there the best way to stop yourself, like with a dive, so you can shoot your tape?
Yes, there is. You don't dive, first of all. When I'm going to a corner, I'm usually running and shooting, and you slide in like this on this knee, and you plop yourself up, and you come up like that.
So you don't want to stop.
So you never want to come in baseball style then?
No, you do come in big.
Well, I mean like the right baseball. Pretty much.
So it's like, you know, it's hard to show in kind of slow motion, right? But it's you do kind of slide and then pop up. See, for me, I've had knee issues and stuff like that, so I try to be as easy on the body as possible. And like baseball slides, sliding in like that, yeah, it totally works. Just low pressure, get low like you were saying before you slide, and then allow your momentum to pop you up to the other side and use that leg to push you back up.
Yeah, well, like I know a lot of teams aren't that great at getting into their bunker and shooting that tape, and we get someone like
Oh yeah.
hand down.